Hey YouTube, Piper Downs, back at you. Whoops, there we go. Just hanging out at the gazebo, about 100 yards down the sidewalk from my house, or it's basically like a little trail for our neighborhood, and it has a boardwalk that goes through the swamp. It's got a little gazebo offshooting the path and a little retention pond here, and you know, just enjoying the view. I see everybody else doing their outdoor videos, and it occurred to me that, you know, we've got a little gazebo, and, you know, I thought it'd be a nice little change. Nice little change from my typical front porch and back porch and upstairs videos. Smoking on some Cornell and Deal, 3 friars. First time smoking it. It is quite similar to the Bayou Morning. I think it has the same ingredients, but maybe at a different ratio. Not quite sure. It tastes similar. They use the same BPrUK because it's got the. I actually really like their BPrUK. Just from what I've tried from the 3 friars, I'm digging it. I like their BPrUK. I think it's really good. It has a very nice, different flavor than Virginia's. Might be a little wet because it's burning good, but not as. It's not pulling as much smoke as the Bayou Morning. I like the cut of these tobaccos, these Cornell and Deal. At least their vapors, the 3 friars and the Bayou Morning, they have a really nice cut, nice ribbon cut. Nice ribbon cut, and smokes good, burns good. Tastes good, smells good. It's a shame that I had overlooked Cornell and Deal for so long. They just got some tasty tobaccos. A lot of flavor. Sometimes I really do like the subtle blends, but then sometimes I like these nice, bold, flavorful blends too. But anyway, I just got my Toker Poker and Hempwick in the mail, and I'm really digging it. Like I was just doing it like this. It was like that long, and I'd go. at the wind, you get the idea. I would light it just like this, turn the flame and go up into the thing, and boom, it'd be lit. And then just like it was a match, you can see the end of the hemp wick, this little teeny flame, it was just like threading the needle, man. This stuff is great. With this toker poker, it also has a sweet little tamper. It's not a huge tamper, but like you couldn't do it all the way to the bottom of the bowl, but like first light, your char light, when you go to tamp it, beautiful, perfect. And it does this number. So you got a poker, which really, this thing is like to secure the hemp wick. It's like a double purpose. Acts as a poker, and then when you're done with the hemp wick, you wrap it around, clip into place, boom, it's like locked in. And as you guys know, I did a video where I was talking about the hemp wick and the little accident I had. Well, I totally forgot about it until this guy Gray Bailey, he's got a YouTube channel, and he brought it up. He had a little toker poker, and I almost immediately ordered one. Along with a big ball of hemp wick. Man, this is good tobacco. It's just smooth. Not really any tongue bite. I don't get any bitter flavors, any of that ash mouth, poo mouth, whatever they call it. Ashtray mouth. And I think I'm going to be keeping either this or the Bayou Morning on hand. Beauty of it is, this stuff is in bulk, you know. You get it in bulk, it's freaking cheap, man. I would buy an ounce or two at a time, because I don't really like stocking up, because I just jump around so much. There are certain blends like St. James and the Full Virginia, some other ones that I keep on hand. But other than those, I really don't like to hoard or stock up like that. Although there are exceptions like Brown Flake and a few others. But man, this is good stuff. Guys, this is good stuff, man. I can't believe that I was just totally I don't know why I didn't order Cornell and D. It's just like every time there was other stuff that I wanted more. I just kept pushing it off. And then when I realized you could get it in bulk, I had to do it. This one, I wouldn't say that the BPrUK isn't quite as strong as the Bayou Morning. The Bayou Morning is got a little bit more BPrUK content, or it's a little bit more toward the front, as it should be. I mean, it's called Bayou Morning, so. But yeah, the BPrUK, it's in there. Gives you that nice BPrUK spice, but it doesn't overpower it. Here and there, I have to look for it, actually. Most of the time, it's right out front. But here and there, I've noticed, I've had a couple puffs where I was like, It wasn't until I retrohaled till I got a little taste of it. So it's not something that's the BPrUK isn't overpowering. Although I tend to like a lot of BPrUK, man. I don't know what it is, but I really like BPrUK. I guess I'm a vapor guy. And I dig Virginia's too, but man, something about that damn BPrUK is just so good. But yeah, that toker poker is pretty darn cool. Smoking my Dr. GAW Omega, by the way. With the leaf, of course. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a VR to Bosco Piper UK, BPR UK. Yeah. His GAW is What's Your Biggest Fear? And that one isn't easy for me, but it's not hard either, like some of the other ones I've said. It's not easy, but it isn't hard. Like, I remember years ago, this is an old fear of mine that I've gotten over, obviously, but going to the Grand Canyon, we went out there, and I remember we got there, and we did the walk around the canyon. There's like a little path that goes all the way around, or around most of it. And man, I remember getting up to the edge and having to hold on to a tree, a little teeny tree on the edge of the canyon, because the heights it just freaked me out, man. Like the edge was sucking me down. Not a good feeling. But since then, it doesn't really bother me anymore. Well, I can't say I haven't been back to the Grand Canyon, but heights don't bother me like that anymore. And, I started climbing and doing tree work, and heights did bother me then. A couple years ago, it still did bother me a little bit. But my yearn to climb was greater than my fear of the heights. So I was able to push through it. And then what happens is, when you're a commercial climber, when you're a production climber, which means, you're doing it quickly. When you're a production climber, you're producing, you're putting stuff on the ground. You're not messing around in the tree, you're putting it down. And once you become a production climber, what happens is you go to work. When you get up into the tree, that's your workspace. That's your office. You forget about the heights. You get used to it. You get to the point where you focus on the job at hand. The first few times you get up there, all you can think about is how high you are up in the air. Your legs shaking. I mean, I remember the first couple times I climbed, it was not a good experience. It was freaking scary. It was scary, man. I mean, I remember just shaking, holding on to the tree. Oh man, it was bad news. But anyway, that went away. But I started working with a cousin of mine at a business. My old boss, my cousin got me the job, and this is before I climbed. I learned with him in there. My cousin had been climbing for about 7 years. He's a couple years older than me. And I think it happened in June, but I started working there in March. And of course, he took me under his wing and was showing me the ropes, literally, because climbing is all about the ropes. He was showing me the ropes and the knots and how to do it, how to stay calm, how to read the tree. And then in June, I had been working there since very beginning of March, right after my birthday. And then by June, we were working at a property. The boss was there, the owner of the company, everybody was there. Everybody that worked at this company was at this property. And I think we had maybe been there an hour. We had just started working a few minutes. We got everything set up, pulled all the equipment out. And my cousin, he was using the power pruner, and he was trimming the trees. And there was one tree where it was just slightly out of reach, so he had to climb it. So we got these, I don't know if you guys ever seen those little giant ladders. You can make them an extension ladder where they're just straight up and down, or you can make them an A-frame ladder and use them as an A-frame. You can do both. Well, we had two of those. We had a 22-footer and a 24-footer, which I have a 22-footer right now. Well, he always used the 24-footer because that extra 2 feet, that could mean the difference between having to climb and not having to climb. And you always want to do it from the ground or from a ladder, rather than climbing. Unless it's just, unless it's dangerous to do it from the ladder, like you're right under the limb and you don't want to get hit by the limb when it comes down, that's when you would climb it. But anyway, he couldn't reach something. So he takes a ladder, he extends it, he takes it out of A-frame and extends it fully, straight up and down. And there was a limb that was just about horizontal with the ground, maybe like at a slight grade. And he had to get on this limb and trim it up. So he leans the ladder, and the ladder was just tall enough to reach this limb. And he leaned the ladder up against the limb, put his saddle on, grabbed his rope, grabbed everything he needed. I had a power pruner too, and I was doing a bit of trimming on some other trees. Well, I finished those other trees, brought the 22-foot ladder over to the tree he was working, and he had decided he was going to work one side of the tree, I was going to work the other. I was going to work the other side with a pruner, and he was going to work it by fishing. And, excuse me, there's a kid fishing, I don't know why the hell I said that, but he was going to work it by climbing, I was going to work it from the ground. So I walk over just as he starts climbing this ladder. And this is an old ladder. We had it for a while. It was doing a YouTube video. Oh, yeah. Nice glasses, man. I got that same pair at home.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, those are nice. Yeah, anyway, he was just going up this ladder. And I walked over to set up my ladder and my pruner. And I'm talking to him, like BSing with him, and he gets about halfway up this, he gets about halfway up the ladder. It's a 24-foot ladder, so that limb was about 24 foot up. He gets up to like the second or third from the top rung. All of a sudden, the ladder snaps. He's at least 20 feet up. Got a chainsaw on, got all his ropes, got his saddle on. And I'm standing right there, not 5 feet away from his the ladder. I hear snap. As I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, oh shit, The ladder comes down and he comes down with it. Boom, everything hits the ground. Immediately, he's a tall guy, he's like 6'2". Super strong, super athletic. Skinny, kind of lanky, but really strong and really athletic. Well, he hits the ground and immediately jumps up. And I'm thinking, oh, he's okay, he's up. He's okay, because I thought he just died, really. He jumps up. I start running over, because I knew what just happened. I was right there. I seen the whole thing. I run over, and immediately I realized what had happened. He's holding his arm just like this. He had landed. What happened was when he came down, his arm come down in one of those rungs. So the bulk of this ladder come down on his forearm too. You know, his arm was in the rung and he come down with it, snapped his arm clean in half. Clean in half. We're talking about a strong dude too. Clean in half. It was a compound fracture. Put a big hole in the side. I mean, it was a huge tear in the side of his arm. And I run over. He jumps up. He's like this. Oh man, it's fucking broke, man. It's broke, man. You know, he's freaking out. And I'm just like, oh my God, you know, I couldn't believe what I just saw. So I run over and get the chainsaw off his saddle and start helping him, you know, trying to get, because he had a damn chainsaw hanging off of him. I just was trying to get everything situated. So, and our boss was there. So I get it, excuse me. So I get everything off of him, and immediately I go sprinting over to the other. This is a big property, probably an acre. And I run over to the other side. I sprint over to the other side. Oh, I said, Perry, Cameron just fell out of a tree and broke his arm clean in half. I screamed that shit, you know. And the boss, he looks at me like, what? I said, Cameron just broke his fucking arm clean in half. And the whole crew, everybody cracks their head, like breaks neck, looking at me like, what? So everybody just goes darting over there, and sure enough, he's standing there, just like moaning. He was standing there. So the lady at the house calls the ambulance because none of us knew the damn address. And he's standing there just going on and on. I mean, he was bleeding. We wrapped his arm in a towel to kind of help, you know, to kind of keep everything, you know, just to help keep it from dripping all over him and whatnot. Yeah, these little ponds are sweet, man. I've caught some monsters in there. But yeah, but anyway, we wrapped it with a damn towel, and then the ambulance came and they gave him some morphine. Well, my cousin was a drug addict at the time. As far as I know, he may still be, but they gave him some morphine, and he said, look, that ain't gonna do nothing. You better give me like a triple dose or something. So they did. They got him ready, they prepped him, and then put him in the ambulance. Took him away. Okay, so anyway, he was out of work for like 8 months. The first surgery butchered his arm, made it even worse. He got a freaking infection, a bone infection. They had put plates and stuff in, got a bone infection, like a bone-eating infection. Had to have another doctor come back. The other doctor goes, holy crap, that guy made your arm worse, you know. Luckily, the other doctor got it fixed. Anyway, I said all that to say this. Since seeing that, and actually I seen another guy break his leg, fall out of a tree doing some dumb shit. I mean, I watched both of these. Boom, guy hit the ground. I seen them both. So basically, what happened after that was, I'm not scared of heights, and I'm not scared of falling. What I'm scared of is being maimed for life. That's what I'm scared of. I'm not scared of dying from something, you know, falling and dying. That doesn't scare me. What scares me is falling and surviving. Falling, you know, being paralyzed and surviving. Or breaking my arm in half and surviving. Although, you know, he's back to work and his arm, it's not quite the same, but he's pretty good now. And of course, I believe it was his left arm. Or no, it was his right arm. He had to get used to doing left-handed stuff, but that's my greatest fear. My greatest fear is getting hurt, getting maimed, and surviving. Getting maimed and having to live with it. That is my worst fear. And I've told people, I said, you know, if I fall out of the tree, I hope I just die. I hope that's it, you know. I mean, unless it's only 5 feet up, or, you know, unless, you know, it's something that I can weather no problem and it not, you know, maim me. But, you know, if I fall out of a 50-foot tree, I hope it just kills me, you know, because that's my worst fear, having to live through that, you know, because them couple months were hell for him, and that scares the freaking dickens out of me. But anyway, that's my VR to Bosco Piper, UK. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Piper Downs, over and out.